Hmm.
if you look in the valley, there's one here, one there. There's big, huge pine trees. But if you could imagine, it was just like the whole valley was nothing. They said it was just black. You couldn't even see the ground. It
Mm.
was just nothing but gigantic pine trees. And they had flying squirrels, golden eagles lived down there, and then so that's why they were the golden eagle people. They must have had a bunch of feathers, wearing feathers on all their stuff because it was everywhere, right? Feathers everywhere. So they see a smoke him in person. And, holy, he's got all kinds of golden eagle. He's probably trading. He's got all the golden eagle feathers you want. Those are the golden eagle people.
Mm.
When they chop the trees down, no more golden eagles. So can they be like golden eagle people? There are few there, but they move to the cliff sides, the golden eagles.
Yeah.
But they can only sustain so many numbers, not like they used to have,
Yeah.
because they were safe up there, huh? That's
Mhm.
where the eagle makes his nest in a place where he can't get there.
So it seems like with a lot of the names, it's a good reminder of like the history.
Yeah, this is who we were.
Yeah.
What do we do to get that back of who we are now?
Yeah. And you think about it, it's like, is that still relevant now? Or like where's the gap? It shows you what the gap is.
Yeah,
Like if, Sukanakanik is like, who's running to the top of the mountains?
well,
How
like last
how does
week,
that
Fire
come back?
Friday,
Hmm.
I got the kids to do a training exercise where you put water in your mouth. You know, a little path behind the Fire Friday. They run up and down as many times as they can with water in their mouth
Hmm.
to control their breath. Just to breathe through their nose.
Oh, cool.
And I said, "This is who we are. You have to control your breath. You run yourself out, and you huffing and puffing, and you're gonna stop. But
Mm,
if you have your mouth closed, you breathe through your nose, you can control your pace."
mm.
So I was telling them that he's kind of. We need to start living up to our name.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You should create like an outdoor Sinqua Coolston.
yeah.
Imagine that. Just like try
Hmm.
to like make it like as close to traditional
Yeah,
what an old gym would be like.
Yeah.
rocks and
Lifting
logs,
logs.
I know you
climbing.
yung mijo Kilauna, Clarence Louis, a few years ago when I was working at the school. He really wanted me to try to start that. Specifically, he's like, get some log. I don't know. He just wanted me to do it, but
Mm.
like obviously he would help put those things in motion. The exact like you're saying, like the big walls to climb or like the logs to
They
but
call them
like
obstacle
go through an
course.
obstacle course. Exactly. That's
Right.
what he was envisioning. He even sent me a really cool link. There's one they did at a school. It's really interesting anyway. It would be amazing to do.
I always, like, even as a kid, I used to think obstacle courses are the coolest things ever.
They're pretty
Like
cool.
that'd be the reason to go join, just to train in the armies. You get to do the obstacle courses because swinging from the ropes over the mud pit,
Yeah.
climbing up that big huge ladder.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
you see that like Ninja Warrior courses.
Yeah.
I was thinking I could do that. Probably couldn't. You probably put on the first one.
Those are crazy.
Yeah. But
you
you
could
think,
if you train. If you're
yeah.
as like dedicated, you could do anything really. I think that's the thing
Mm,
people forget. It's like if you train hard enough, you could do it.
I
Same with
get
Sukana Kainik. If you practice every day,
yeah.
running uphill, you're gonna poop out. But then if you do it every day for a year, you look at where you started. Pretty soon, you're way further.
Mm,
And then I think we heard elders say, "We'll never get to that again." How our ancestors could do it.
hmm
A man could stand up and run up that mountain without breaking and just have that wind.
Yeah.
I think that when we hear things like that, we will never attain that again. It puts it in our mind that, well, I'm just going to put that out of my mind because it's unattainable.
hmm
But I think if we plug in our mind that says we can if we try, if
Yeah.
that's what we want.
I think we can exceed it because if you look at anything athletic in history, all of the records, strength, speed, whatever it may be, they've all far exceeded what it once was. So
Because
I
it's
think
what
That we know of, but we don't know
that
what people were capable of like
that's
thousands of years ago.
that's
Right.
very true. The
That's what I,
Kumi and
that's what I always
everything.
wonder is like if you're training your whole life.
it depends on what you believe in.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing that they believed in is easy to them,
hmm
but for us, because we haven't thought of it, maybe it's impossible. We think it is impossible,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Well, it's like those like distance runners in like Kenya. It's like
Yeah.
to them, it's like nothing to run 50 miles. Like, they'll just get up, go, do it in a day, and like that's just because that's the way they lived, and it's like in their DNA.
Yeah,
to do that.
their
It's,
lungs
like
are
passed down. Yeah,
and yeah, everything.
genetically
Their
like
culture, it's
adapted.
who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we have lost a little bit. Well, I'm not saying it's not we can't get it back, but with the residential schools, it's like they tried to stop who we were
Mhm.
and give us these different values, and then look what the outcome is. I mean, the native people are the worst diabetics and the worst this and that because we're trying to fit into this thing that's not naturally who we are.
Mhm.
But if we were left to our own to train how we want to train our people and stuff like that, because we used to send our kids on the mountain for 4 days to fast,
Mhm.
and I haven't heard of anybody in the valley doing that with the youth.
Yeah.
I know adults do it.
Like child abuse. We
Yeah,
call
they
it
call it
child
child
they
abuse,
should CPS be called on you.
but it was such a
Yeah.
norm. They say, "This is your school. This is
Yeah,
your school." Hiyasin Matmait Nili.
that's how my
Yeah.
dad and uncles were raised.
Yeah.
They were forced to run the hills up and
Yeah.
down. They
And that's why I mentioned that idea of the Sinqua Coolsons. Like, what, like, do you know of like what one would have traditionally looked like in the mountains?
mm,
Because like, there was a space where you would go to train.
Yeah.
It's like, what did that training look like?
There's actually a place in Penticton called Sinclipi Sinqua Coulson's.
Mm,
Or it's and it would be interesting to go there and see how the landforms look.
mm,
What would Coyote have used for his training grounds as a model and to reduplicate that,
yeah.
Because you hear of people doing what they call chom. It's the puberty training.
mhm.
And you hear women for young girls that carry big rocks uphill, and then they get to the top of the hill, then they drop them, and it's in reference to pregnancy
Mm,
that it's a burden to carry it, and when they drop the rock fast, they say, "This is how my baby's going to come out this quick."
mm.
So that's in their mind and their
Metaphor.
prayers. It's a metaphor,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
fast labor.
yeah, and so when women back then were pregnant, the tribe would make them work
Mm,
harder than everyone else.
mm.
They would have to do double overtime. They were the last ones to go to bed and the first ones awake, and the old
Wow.
ladies would there to watch them because
You want to
they
be strong.
they want to be strong,
Nice.
and then the baby doesn't get a chance to get too big in
Yeah.
there, and so when it comes out, everyone's fit, and everything
Right.
comes out like fast. But what happens nowadays? We get pregnant. Not me. I can't speak we like millions of people, but
Yeah.
there's often abundant food.
Yeah.
Relax. Don't do
Take it
anything.
easy.
Take
Do
it
less.
easy. Do
Yeah.
less. Then you have complications. Then you
Yeah. That
so a
makes
lot of
sense.
times our contemporary
Yeah.
beliefs are total opposite to what tradition.
And do you think that had anything to do with like how often like women might die or like a child would get lost in like childbirth? It's like, let's make the women stronger so that they're more likely to survive this ordeal
No kidding.
of birthing a child. Like you said, the child also coming healthy but there was no like hospital, there was no like blood transfusions, like none of this stuff was gonna happen. Like you needed to be strong to
You
get
got to
this
be
child out
peak
and
performance.
recover.
Yeah.
And then nowadays with all the stuff they have, the drugs they can give you, you know, you sit in the bed, you got this time to recoup. They've got the medicines, they've got everything to make to make childbirth safer now. There's no need.
The responsibility is on the hospital, not the individual. And
Right.
we're taught that, right? We're taught that I could do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, and then I just go to the hospital. When my body and everything shuts down. Back
Yeah.
in the day, you got to rely on your own self.
Right.
People were eating all just from the land, and everyone must have been pretty healthy. And
Yeah.
I wonder, like how things, like even dental stuff, how
Yeah.
that would have worked.
And they talk about so much about how the way you are as an adult is a lot of it has to do with your childhood and whatnot. Like maybe the way you are as a child and everything has to do with like your prenatal, your birth experiences. Like if your mom's like sitting around eating lots of food, being lazy, watching TV, like maybe you come out and you're just like lazy too. You're
Hey,
like, yeah,
exactly.
this is all I know for the first 9 months of my life.
I think there's truth to that because when you're culturally trained and and your disciplined teachings and the whole community
Yeah,
is watching you and invested in you,
yeah,
you're always getting stronger. Your lineage stays good and strong, right? And
right.
even as soon as you're conceived and the baby's knows it's there, there's this thought and idea of of strength, knowledge,
Mm,
power, you know.
mhm.
And when it comes out, the baby just carries that
Yeah.
because it's what it was first thought of when it was conceived was that, you know. It's like, and then if you think, you know, I think, yeah, it's just like carrying on,
Mhm.
you know. That's what the is you know, is that it's almost like turn chutwe, you know, the line up. That's your
Yeah.
lineage, huh?
Sterar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Mm,
from past to future through your belly button. Really interesting stuff. And where do we start to get that back? And for me, it was learning on Kailukshin
mhm,
because I didn't think of any of that stuff before I started learning my culture and language. So
mhm,
it's like it's really, really interesting. But then we're in this place where all the values are Eurocentric.
mhm.
And then the very even as being indigenous people, we're the minority within the minority who are trying to bring this back, you know?
Right.
And it's like uphill battle the whole way.
Yeah.
I don't know if
What
that's like a
about
metaphor for we got to run up the mountain.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the other ones too. It's like Sinai, Smilkmich. They're all things that were like, if you're trying to bring those things back, it goes back to those traditional beliefs of just like going back to nature, going back to working hard. Like they're all things that like represent strength and ability and endurance and lasting and survival. It's like we're in this world where it's so easy to not have those things because you can have everything you want sent to your door. You sit at home on your phone,
Mhm.
you can order all your food, you can order anything you want on Amazon, you can watch screen all day, so easy. It's just made it tougher to keep those things going.
So many distractions.
Push button generation, right?
Yeah.
Disposable.
Yeah.
But you look at people who still carry their traditions, like we were saying earlier about the athletes. I saw, you know, just like everyone else on my screen looking at things. And there's this Mexican woman who ran this marathon against all these athletes.
Mhm,
And she wears homemade, they look like sandals, you know, made out of leather.
mhm,
And she beat everybody by like however many. She's from this little Mexican tribe
mhm,
where they're just like the Kenyans and their culture is just to run, run,
mhm.
run. She made it to the finish line and they cheered and they said, well, you can be endorsed by Nike and have $1 million in your own shoe. And she said, why would I wear one of those? All the people who wear those are behind me. I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Then
am
I
yeah.
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say it's really amazing when it is built in their DNA and it's just their chout, their way of life that
Yeah.
it's amazing how that happens. You know, they say it happens with animals, right? Evolution. It happens with our people all the time too. You guys just listed some great examples, but like at the same time, those other indigenous people that live on the ocean where they do the free diving. Have you
Mhm.
guys seen that where they spearfish
Yeah.
They
and
can
they don't
hold their
use
breath.
They
yeah,
hold
they
their
just hold
breath
their
for like
breath for
four or
like
5 minutes.
crazy
Yeah.
amounts of time and their lungs, like the scientists did studies on their lungs and they actually can absorb more oxygen and their
Mhm,
blood vessels can hold more oxygen and
mhm.
it's wild. It's just really
It's
cool how
crazy.
humans adapt too.
But it's crazy how
Their
you can train
environment.
Yeah.
yourself. I was hearing this thing was about an actor had to do that for a movie, and she was able to hold her breath for like 5 or 6 minutes
Oh
for the
wow.
movie, like, just through training and practicing.
Totally.
It's like how flexible is the human body is, like, you look at what you can accomplish with your body, pretty
Mhm.
insane. Like,
Totally.
I ran a 5K earlier this summer, and I ran like, I do it every year, it's a fundraiser for my sister's, or my niece, I should say, who's adopted from Africa, and so they do a fundraiser for the orphanage she came from, and I got gassed in the last half a kilometer, like, I did 4.5K. It's pretty flat, but then there's a little bit of uphill at the end. I just got gassed, and, like, it never happened to me before, and I'm like, I just realized I don't run anymore," and then the
Mhm.
kids went by me, and I was like, "Oh, man," it was like 10-year-olds, like, "Dang, I'm, like, losing it," but I'm like, "I never run," and so, like, my body was just, like, telling me something. It's like,
You're out of practice.
yeah, you're losing it. You're
Yeah.
losing it, Jess. Like you just took it for granted that you could run. You were a good runner for most of your life, but you gotta yeah, you gotta keep
You
this
gotta
gotta keep the
practice.
sword sharp.
This like, you know, every year I snowboard
Yeah.
and this year has been the year that I haven't skateboarded very much. Maybe went out once or twice.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I always put that a point to keep it up because once you stop,
Yeah.
it gets harder to keep it up. And snowboarding though, every year, right? But it's say if I take 10 years off and I go, I'm gonna be rusty, my legs are gonna be wonky and everything like
Yeah.
that. It's like you have to maintain what you want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
do,
The
right?
the muscle memory is there, but the body's
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
in the shape it could be
I
in.
did the same thing with snowboarding. I took about 8 years off, went back. First day was pretty shaky, but it was awesome. Like you said, the muscle memory is there,
Yeah.
came back. Same thing with skating. About almost 10 years off of that, and
Yeah.
that's like hockey was my life.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to get everything back, I feel,
Yeah.
and it's such a good feeling. It's
It
empowering to claim it back and work for it again
yeah.
and do push-ups. I didn't do push-ups for years.
You
I've
still owe me
started
20.
I've started to do those. Like I try to do like at least 15 to 20 every day.
Nice.
Usually I'll usually drop 15 at a time now, which when I first started doing them again, it was like 5 or 7 and I'm like, "Holy, I'm so out of
Why are these
shape.
things so hard?
I can barely do these now." It's
Yeah.
like embarrassing, but
Yeah.
I've stuck with it now and I feel this power coming back
Yeah.
and it
You
feels
notice
so good.
you notice the change, and
Yeah.
then that's they always say that that's first, is like you feel yourself getting stronger, and then you see yourself getting stronger.
Mm.
And then the third thing is other people notice. So it's like that's the 3 stages of like getting healthier, you
Yeah,
know.
you can't just do it the one day though, right? It's got to be every day. It's
Yeah.
got
You
to be
gotta keep it going.
consistent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did have, like, pull-ups, like, I know I can do a few naturally, just like the full regular ones, but, like, if I start doing them regularly, it goes up quick, like, the amount I can do. I'm like, I get a lot stronger in a hurry. I don't look any stronger, but I'm just like, it activates something in your body. It's just like, boom, all of a sudden, them things get easier to do.
Yeah.
Like, the more you do it, and it's like you look at the way people's bodies can change, like actors that change for roles, people that are like bodybuilders, and then they shrink, they go from small to huge, and they shrink again. Like, the human body is, like, incredible what you can do to it.
Yeah.
The fact that you could train yourself to hold your breath for 5 minutes. You could train yourself to bench press 500 pounds if you wanted to. Like, you just have to commit. You could train yourself to run 100 miles. Like,
Yeah.
these are all things that anybody could do. My aunt, she got into marathon running when she was 60 years old,
Dang.
and she won her age group at the San Francisco Marathon, and I think she placed pretty well in a few other ones, and she's decided one day she's gonna get into it. She retired from being a superintendent. She was always into teaching and principal and
Okay.
stuff, and she's got into running, got amazing at it, and then that was it for 5 years. She was just like, that was her thing, and
Wow.
she's like, "Alright, did enough of that, go do something else."
That's cool. It
Yeah. It
doesn't matter when, I guess, like as long as you're determined and stick with it.
yeah.
That's the key.
That
Yeah.
strong mental
Yeah, it's
starts
not
with the mental.
yeah, I was just gonna say
Can't
that too. It's like not just
discipline.
training your body.
Yeah.
You have to train your
'Cause
mentality to get
I
to
know
that point.
for me, when I get on a good thing, for some reason, I talk myself out of it after a while,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know if that's a self sabotage or what. It's like, oh, who do you think you are, or what do you know?
Yeah.
And I need to figure that stuff out, right? Because I could be in better shape than I am, mentally and physically, and
Right.
in every way, pretty much. And what would it look like? What would it feel like to be at 100%
Yeah.
mental, 100% physical? Like you're the best shape of your life. I don't ever experienced that. Like the best I've ever been was probably when I was working at the mill
Mhm.
and we are like lifting lumber all day, 10 hours a day.
Mhm.
Then I'd go to my friend's house and we'd train martial arts, MMA training. We would roll around and do punching. And then I'd go to the gym maybe 3 times a week. And I was looking like Bruce Lee. I actually seen little abs kicking out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then but I got a big head, so it looked kind of funny. I got this big old Indian jughead with this little Bruce Lee body, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This kind of looks weird," kind of doesn't really match. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe I did get a different haircut or something. I feel like I probably had an afro or
That's
something.
probably it, yeah.
Make it look worse.
I get buzzed up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then it's like if I were to you keep going that direction, because I was just how many months I was going and how
Mhm.
results were there. I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, holy smoke. I'm lumped up on my abs and my muscles are just screaming right now.
Yeah.
And then my my woman at the time got pregnant, and you know when you got the sympathy thingamajigs that happen when you eat when they eat,
Yeah.
and then like you said, we went chill mode
Yeah.
instead of let's go double overtime. I got into the chill mode, and that was it. That was best shape of my life. I was there for like
Mhm.
maybe 3 months, 2 months of just prime time.
Mhm.
I've never seen that again
I had a
since.
I had a almost identical window of my peak too. It ended actually pretty bad. Some people ended up breaking my ribs when I was a lot younger.
Oh, jeez.
I was in the same thing though. I was feeling so good. I was posting pictures of myself. I was like, "Yeah, holy, this is the best results I've seen." I was like working out 2 times a day.
Wow.
Like I'd go in the morning and then like at 10 p.m. at night. It was just so empowering. And I was like,
Mhm.
people say you get addicted to working out. That was the first and only time in my life I felt that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, yeah, as if. But no, I felt so good. And then that happened and I couldn't do anything. And I never have gotten close back to that again. Not
Mhm.
yet.
I
Yeah.
think that's the
Not
thing
yet.
about it. Maybe this is
But
where this
it's like,
conversation's going because we always talk about empowering youth and empowering people,
Mhm.
but I think we got to lead by example, right?
Yeah.
And then
Role models.
role model it and to hold each other accountable,
Yeah.
make a Facebook group and work
Yeah.
out. And I don't know, because this whole year, I've been just falling into that eating junk food, fast food. And there's like, for a week, I'll eat fruit and I'll be doing good and exercising. And then I just fall right off. But I got nobody there kicking me in the butt. I just
Mhm.
myself. Maybe I just shouldn't rely on people, but I'm a human. I need, the connection sometimes to be like, hey,
Yeah.
let's do this. You got this. And I always find people who don't need that really, really, really awesome and resilient that have that self
Mhm.
motivation. I don't know why I just had the hard time finding that self motivation. I've always sort of needed a kick in the ass.
I think that's maybe that some of the people that you think have that self-motivation actually have that support
Maybe.
yeah.
system. They have something, like, maybe they don't always show it, but it's so hard to do things on your own like that. Like, nobody's gonna say, "Stay strong all the time." You're gonna have your weak moments, and if you read the book Atomic Habits, it talks about that. It's like you have to, like, acknowledge your weaknesses as a person, is that no matter who you are, no matter what you're gonna do, you're gonna hit a point where you give up. You're gonna get sick maybe, and you can't go to the gym for a while. Like, something's gonna change, you're just gonna get complacent. It's not about making yourself that mentally strong. It's about making everything else that much easier or that much more part of your habits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, don't make yourself like, don't be so hard on yourself. Just
Yeah.
make everything else a little bit easier
Don't
for you to do.
sabotage yourself too, because if
Hmm.
like I think what you were saying, put your phone next to your bed because you'll just get up and scroll, put it over in the living room or down the hall.
Yeah,
Then when the alarm kicks off, you got to get up,
you
and
get up.
turn it off.
Yeah.
It's gonna annoy the heck out of you.
I leave my phone in the kitchen every night.
Yeah.
Just boom.
How
Don't.
many people though they go to sleep, scroll, set it
Yeah.
next to their bed, and then as soon as they wake up, we're gonna reach for it, and that's
Yeah.
not the best way to start your day, right? So
Worst
there
way.
are like key things to do to start your day:
Yeah.
fresh air, water,
Make your bed.
cold plunge, make your bed,
Yeah.
and going outside, get that sunlight on the eyes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because we're just human, we're like animals.
Yeah.
We're not invented to look at these stupid blue screen monitors and everything. It's just ruining us. I think is ruining
Yeah,
us.
it's a temptation.
Yeah.
It's like it's the material world calling you. Like, I people talk about, like, the concepts of, like, you talk about religion where there's, like, good
Well,
and
are we,
bad
are we
and
going
evil.
there? Nice.
We're going there because I feel like we've been close to it, like ideas around religion. Because I think a lot of ideas around religion talk about these, like, demons that exist that don't want you to do well. They don't want you to be healthy. They don't want you to be successful. They don't want it. And we sometimes think of it as being in our own heads, but there's so many, like, physical demons out there that are like time thieves, that are energy thieves, that are attention thieves, that don't want you to be successful. And you start to recognize those things for what they are, it makes it easier to avoid them.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I think in what we call in our in the Okanagan culture, National.
Mm,
That's a people eating monster.
yeah,
And I think we think of always try to tie things back to culture, right? Because it's who we are.
yeah.
Nationalskeiluchten is a metaphor and a story that eats people and it kills people.
Mhm.
And they're all out there in life. And you see it right now, like drugs, alcohol, um, junk food, procrastination, complacency, selfish, greed. All these things used
Yeah.
to be physical monsters, but now they've been changed by Coyote,
Mhm.
and we're supposed to learn not to associate with ourselves, because we
Mhm.
have another word in our language which we should focus on is tan,
Mm,
that which gives you life.
mm,
So it's like the tin, and the tin, it's the object, right? So when we look at things in our life, is this a
mhm.
people eating monster, or is this thing that's going to enhance my life? And if we can put them and categorize them,
Mhm.
we can just say this is noise.
Mhm.
This is draining negativity, and even sometimes the stuff that we call tan, it's harder to do,
Yeah,
but it's
Mhm.
good for you. It
yeah.
enhances your life. And now with kids and even adults, everything is this uh real easy. Everything should be easy, but then that's in national. If you go the easy way, you're gonna slip and fall. But if you do getting up early and exercising, that brings value to your life as health,
Mhm.
all that stuff. Like the food we call in tan, because our roots and our berries we consider medicine, and deer meat and salmon. But then we look at the processed food. We call that food, or is that another it's actually gonna kill me?
Mhm.
Maybe it's poison, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of the good things, quote unquote good things, are the temptations in life are the Nash Skyluchten.
Yeah. My uncle says things you want aren't good for you. What you don't want, that's good for you.
Yeah, it's funny
Schweile.
how
Chus.
when you kinda see something for what it is, you realize how wrong you've been for so long. Like, you're able to look back and be like, "Wow, I've been living this sort of, like, unconscious existence." Sorry if I delve into spirituality a little bit, but I've kinda had, like, some experiences lately, and so this stuff's gonna crop up.
No, that's fine. I mean, like, we are just humans. We are spirits having a human experience,
Yeah,
right?
I
And I don't
agree.
think there's enough spirituality in our day to day life. I think,
I think yeah, the day-to-day life's the opposite of
well, like
spirituality.
100 years ago, it was all Catholicism and Catholic, right? But then they took it to the extreme,
Mhm,
right? Now you walk down the street and you look across the street, and you see, maybe a pretty girl or whatever, and it's, oh gosh, I'm gonna go to hell. I looked at her. So they got this fear. It's a fear-based religion, right?
mhm.
And with Okanagan Seelection, it's like it's all about, it's not, there's no heaven or hell, right?
Right.
It's your energy connected to existence. Everything is alive, everything is important.
Mhm.
And
I
yeah.
I had a thought the other day. Well, I had questions. I was listening to a recording. I was kinda doing some, like, guided meditation stuff, and I was listening to a recording of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and what it is it's like a ritual that's passed when somebody's going through the phase of death. Like, they're just leaving our material world, they're heading on to the next plane, and I was wondering, I'm like, is there some sort of tradition around that in Okanagan culture?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
one thing that I've been taught is with the fires that we keep, right?
right.
So when someone passes away, we make a fire for them right away, and it
Mhm,
you keep it burning until we bury them, until they're buried. One thing that I was taught around one of the fires for one of my friends that passed was that we need to keep one of the reasons we keep that fire going is so that their spirit can see the right path to follow,
mhm,
and the right path is like lit up for them so they can make it to the next world, to the
mhm,
happy hunting grounds, to creator. Whereas if that wasn't there, maybe they get lost in that on that journey.
mhm.
That's kind of the one of the things I heard last year about maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, about that
Yeah,
specific topic.
there's some parallels there. What about like if somebody's on their deathbed and you know that they're leaving this world?
Mm.
Like, is there anything that's done in the culture to help with that passage, to help them let go of their family and everything that's here?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I've never experienced that. I don't know. It's a good question. Like like a ceremony thing, like something that would you would do to help them let
Well,
go to earth, or
well, in Buddhist culture, what happens is like your family gathers around you, and you have monks or priests from the temple that come there, and they are praying constantly. Like they're praying for the body. They're saying only certain things. You know, as this person's kind of passing on, they're kind of in and out of consciousness. Their body's shutting down. Their breath's changing. Like so many things happen on that on that transition from life to death. But the priests are there trying to prepare the soul for leaving the body is sort of the idea around it. And there's a real push that any of the family that's there they can't be sad, they can't cry, they can't show any sort of like emotions because that's going to upset the soul or it's going to affect that passage
mm-hmm.
onward. So and there's a lot of like little rituals that fit within there, but the main thing is that it's helping the soul leave the body, pass to the next realm, and then there's a whole bunch of other things that they have to go through. The soul has to go through as it passes on to the bardo, and then there's this 49-year or 49-day thing that happens before they're reincarnated. The soul becomes reincarnated. So that's the belief in the language.
And
I was wondering if
this
there's
was
any
on a
parallels.
podcast you heard with Tibet, as a Buddhist monk was
Well,
talking about
it's
that.
from the Tibetan Book of the Dead,
Oh,
which is all about that procedure around death. And so
mhm.
it talks about there's I just listened to like a 2.5 hour audio recording. So I just like
Mm.
meditated and listened to it, and it talks about like all the people that you meet, all the trials that you go through. That's just kind of like helping the soul get through, and then how like you're trying to help the soul pass through these trials. Otherwise, it can get lost somewhere along the way, you know, and
Mm.
then you get kind of in a limbo state, or you get pushed backwards. Like the sort of idea that I get around it is that souls are just constantly being reincarnated, and that like every time you're trying to like achieve like some sort of spiritual enlightenment as you go, and like literally like your soul, my soul, everybody's soul, we've been a worm at some point in time, we've been like a little microscopic organism, you've been like a deer, you've been everything, and you just become enlightened to the point where you get to kind of like elevate your consciousness into like
Mm.
a higher being.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that sort of explains evolution a little bit,
Mhm.
but it also talks about how we have so much like empathy and fears that don't make sense. Like, why are people afraid of spiders? It's like, well, in a previous existence, that was the thing that you were most afraid of.
Maybe you're a fly and you got eaten by a spider. Now you're
In their
afraid
Yeah.
of
realm,
spiders.
a spider is the ultimate predator. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like maybe that's just like residual fear that came from you being a tiny insect. You know, why are people so afraid of snakes? It's like, oh, well, when you were in that realm, that was a major fear. And so, like, a lot of our fears just come from like past PTSD of being reincarnated in so many different forms. And it was just really cool
Yeah.
thoughts. Like, I just had really cool things to think about through that. And I'm just like,
Totally.
how does this parallel to Okanagan language and culture? Is like thing I
Who
thought along the
knows?
way.
I guess, well, just along the lines of you said they're not, almost not allowed to mourn right away when that process is happening.
You don't want the body or the soul to hear
Okay.
that morning. Yeah.
Well,
If you cry, you can cry somewhere else. Or
correct me if I'm wrong, but for our people, they only get like 1 year, just like of mourning,
Mm,
Yeah.
and then after that is when we have the giveaway at the memorial. So you give away all the person's items that passed away,
mm.
and then after that, you're kind of supposed to let their spirit go and let them go.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the gist of that?
Yeah. And the word I've heard, Khatamwilich.
Hatemwil?
Khatamwilich. It's going
Hatamwilach.
back to the earth.
Mm,
That's which kind of like reincarnation, right? Like, so you pass away, you go back. Khatamwilich, going back to Tamil, go back to the animals. And I think that has something to do with why you don't harvest for a year. You don't hunt and fish, dig roots, because they're going back into that land. And the spirit whether it's going to be an animal or it's going to be a fish, we don't know. So for 1 year, you don't want to offend it by shooting a deer that might be a spirit might be in there, and you're so close to within one season of the year, the sun going around for the year, that they could offend it. It's like, oh, you just shot your whoever family member. So when you wait a year, that gives that animal, that spirit, enough time to know to go to know that it's an animal, to know that it's thing, that it's no longer the human form or something like that along those lines. So it has a reincarnation type of vibe. I think that's kind
Yeah.
of, I'm pieced together
There's
things I
some
learned
connections
here.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just going through that and looking at spirituality, like I'm thinking, I'm like, indigenous people are spiritual by nature. It's like there's so much of like fears and hatred and everything comes from these concepts of the past and the future. Like you're worried about, you feel bad about things of the past, you're anxious about the future, but like to me, like a traditional lifestyle is like you're very like present. It's like your fears are real fears that are in front of you. You're actually living in the moment. Like so you are like awakened. You are
Yeah.
present. You are part of this existence.
Well, you look at people who spend their time in offices and do, this type of work. They're indoors. A lot of people are indoors and focusing on things that are inside in a building,
Mhm.
whereas our ancestors, these indigenous people, is قيلو, outside
Mhm.
every day, all day, observing.
Yeah.
And if you're a brilliant person, a genius, or you're spiritual, that's always information downloaded. So you are just so connected to earth, nature, that because they weren't dumb. Like, no one's dumb. Like you're human. You're always learning. So
Mhm.
you had like people who were professors, but of knowledge of the land and knowledge of everything that's happening, because
Mhm.
people are constantly downloading information and knowledge. So if you could just imagine, like, people who are book smart, they're book smart on this,
Mhm.
but like that same type of intelligence in your environment, to be a genius in that. And I think that gets overlooked, that gets overlooked, that our ancestors, like, there must have been some people so connected, like probably most of the people,
Mhm.
right?
I
Because
think
they're
so.
always out there.
What?
But then there were some people who were even more like, holy cow, gifted in this, right?
Mhm.
Gifted in the spiritual knowledge of existence.
And the ideas of like medicine men,
Yeah.
healers, people that are especially in touch with like the spiritual world, isumich.
And even to predict weather without, they have the meteorologists now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they kind of knew. How do they know? Just by looking
Well, indicators.
indicators and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Yeah. Or
Well,
just being so connected.
yeah.
And telepathy too. I hear people, they when they dream they had a conversation. Then they go
Mhm.
visit that person and be like, oh yeah, I was talking to him.
Dreaming about you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to like realize more and more the depth of colonialism and how it's affected everything. It's that whole mindset of just feeling like you got to be busy, you got to be accomplished, and you have to suffer in life. Like colonialism has this idea that life is suffering in order to get to things that aren't suffering. Is like, so you must suffer through a job you don't like, you must suffer through situations that you don't like, so that you can have a 2-day weekend and
They
try to
blind
forget
you,
about the other 5 days.
and then they dangle all this fancy stuff that, with your time,
Yeah,
that's money. Then you go buy something you don't even need.
Mhm.
right.
Like,
Well,
it makes you more miserable.
because everyone else
Yes.
has it,
Yeah.
or maybe
Yeah,
that girl likes that, and you
And
want
they're all
to
ego.
be cool, and
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
You care about the material
the
things.
societal expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
That's our contemporary. And so we're here on this podcast to educate that what you need, you already have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
within your spoost. Look within your soul.
yeah. It's there.
I'm gonna do more of that, because I need to do that. I've been distracted lately, way too much.
It's easy. The demons are winning.
Yeah, they are.
Inachna.
And because if I don't figure it out, I'm gonna have to come back and do it again. What is
What
it?
do you, he's saying that you
It-
gotta eat
Time
some. You gotta Ethan eat
after this
hapu.
podcast, is that what we're doing? Is that what's going on?
Stumi.
No, don't.
Stumi hapu. Look, mama. Um, yeah. Well, I've been thinking a lot about like colonization and how deep it runs, and just like how it affects everything, and like how so many things have like been messed up by it, like our concept of time. Just like having to be on time, having to be here, having to do this. Da, 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 da. Like there was no traditional concept of time. Time's a construct. It's something that people invented because of colonialism. Like it's a product of colonialism because you got to get stuff done. You know, you
Yeah.
got so long to do it. You want to control people by time.
You've been here a week. What did you accomplish?
Yeah.
Let me see it on a spreadsheet, and give me the memo that told
You're
me what you did. This
you're
week.
here at 8:07. You're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Mhm.
What's going on? Like, why don't you care more about your job?
yeah.
It's like,
Well, it's
some-
like look what they call Indian time. It's if I go to dig Speetlam right now,
right.
I'm early. I'm gonna be here before everybody. I'm gonna get the most.
Yeah.
It's what is September? It's underground. It's asleep.
It's
You can
8
dig
months.
all you want. You're not
Yeah.
gonna get nothing. So being
Yeah.
early doesn't mean it's a good thing.
No.
For us, as Indian time, when it's May
Yeah.
and the roots are ready, we're there when they're there,
Yeah.
and we're digging, and we're there when we're supposed to be at the right time.
Yeah.
Not early or late, but at the right time when they're ready.
That's why the scheduling for those events is always a little weird
Yeah.
for the digging and for the gathering.
Yeah, I mean, when you try to fit
'Cause,
it into a
yeah,
school,
like,
You-
you do your
exactly.
best.
You're trying to take something not colonial and fit it into a colonial structure.
Precisely.
Yeah, and it's like school needs to be decolonized. And it's like we talked about this a lot last time when I was with Scum Clean Chin about like how school is set up for so many kids to fail. And like you just were talking about earlier, how you think you may have ADD because
I didn't
you
want
can't-
anybody to know that.
Oh,
No, I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
I was thinking the same thing. I think the same thing too, because it is hard to focus on things, but you have these kids that struggle within the school setting. And I think particularly boys,
Yeah.
because you're forced to do something that's against your nature. Like boys were not meant to kind of sit and obey and listen quietly, and then just like it's very tough. I don't think anybody really was, but it's like it's harder to break that. It's harder. But then you get these kids that are problem children in the classroom. They go out on the land, and everyone's worried that they're going to be problems on the land. They're great.
Yeah, it's always the case.
Always
they're
the case.
they're never bad on the land once it's like it's medicine. It's medicine for them, and it's just
So they're closer to their true nature
yeah.
when they do that than having
Yeah.
to like be within a classroom
Like
setting.
even me, when I have to do certain type of tasks that are not in line with my nature, it feels like a mountain on my shoulders
Yeah.
pressing down on me, which means, oh, he can't do hard things. But it's just like, I can do hard things. But if I go,
So you're
hunting-
measuring a fish and its ability to fly.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then, but if I go in the mountain and I shoot a deer and I have to drag it 2 miles,
Yeah.
that's hard, but I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I can
Yeah.
do it. And it's like, where?
But there's value. You value that.
Yeah,
It's like it's hard. Like it's hard, but I like that
I
type of
can
hard.
do it. Yeah,
That's my kind of
Where-
hard.
This stuff, it's like, oh god, this is torture. Like,
Yeah.
I could probably sit here all day and just feel bad. And
We need you
probably
to show your
not get
assessment. We need to see your assessments for this unit. I need them by the end of the week. Come on.
yeah, there's things that are just.
Asking this fish to fly. You
And
know.
then I like tell someone asks me, can you draw this for me? And I whip out a nice, beautiful drawing for them, what they wanted. And
Yeah.
it took me 10 minutes. And I couldn't have done that in a year. And it's like, I know I feel that way too about certain things that I'm not good at doing. Like it would take me forever to do what you do
Right.
naturally. You're naturally gifted at that.
Yes.
I got a few gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's a big part.
everyone's like that though, right? That's everyone kind of.
But that's what colonialism's done is it's forced people to have to fit within structures they don't want to be in, or it's not natural to them. Like a big part of decolonization is celebrating people's gifts and like supporting their gifts. And if you had like a school setting where it was like, we're not tied to the clock, we're tied to the land. We listen to the indicators that come from the land. We don't force kids to all have to learn the same thing. We want kids to explore and find their own abilities and what they're good at
What
and nurture
jazzes
that.
you? What
Yeah.
really? Because actually, it only falls under like 9 different people have like 9 different personalities for like a job or for like what they are. It's not like a million things, but you fall under kind of a category.
Yeah. And there could be even a spectrum within that. You can be
Yeah.
between
You have
them.
chunks within that, but then there's like kind of like 9 or 10. So that's not like it's impossible to even gauge that, right? Like,
Is this a test or something that you've done recently? I think I saw you post something on
I
Facebook
posted
around
on
that.
Facebook this woman. She's really pretty cool. She does these. She's into esoteric stuff, consciousness. Um, and she said 9, and then number 3 was if you're creative and this and that, and then she said you're probably a teacher, and I was like, whoa, she hit the nail on that.
Hmm.
And then she was like mentioning other types, and I was like, oh, okay, my mom fits there. And then I was like, oh, here's my son. He sounds like he would be in this because of his personality and who he is. And so it's like your purpose, finding your purpose, right? Everyone
Mhm.
wants to find their purpose
Mhm.
because
Yes.
then you can get busy doing what you're supposed to be doing here on earth.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, I'm
That
45
explains-
years old and I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. And
Yeah.
that's not fun.
I think part of being here is just finding that purpose. In Cha Kin Hoi, should we wrap this up? Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yes. In Cha. Me too. How do I say me too again? I forgot. In Cha Nuch, me next. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my language. Thank you guys for listening to the Kusnak Seal podcast.
I didn't even know you pushed record. Just recorded this?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Hey, that's what you're always saying. Just catch us now. Just push record now, because that's where you get the
Just
good
go
stuff.
natural.
You always do say this, and we got it.
Hey, we were good. We were good. Thank you guys. Keep listening. We're hoping to put out more and more content. Sorry for the break.
We love you, and next time you see me, I'll have a 6-pack.
Of Pepsi.
Probably.
Keep it deadly.
What?
What?